So I think the big struggle with open world games is trying to keep the players engaged for a long period of time. Depending on the player, if you're not enjoying what's presented, it can come off very repetitive. We've gotten so much news on Sonic Frontiers, especially from the EGX event and Summer Games Fest going all the way back then. We've seen Sonic Frontiers evolve, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think the game is gonna be perfectly fine. I have high faith in this game. This is probably going to be one of the best Sonic games in the last decade. I'm going to just get straight to it though. I think Sonic Frontiers might just need a hard mode or something like that, because it looks like it could be fun, but then once you find a way to exploit it, you might get bored of it really fast. Some of the leaked footage, like there's a way to exploit getting rings in the game, and I feel like that's going to just make things a little too easy. Like when in doubt, just spin and make a circle out. And this is where I'm conflicted as a gamer, right? I like by the end of the game for me to be so broken that I'm just walking through anything. Like I want to feel like Thanos every time I go through a level or the final enemy or something like that. I do want to feel challenged when it comes to various enemies or bosses in the field. From what I'm seeing with Sonic Frontiers, it looks like there will be a unique variety of enemies and bosses, and we haven't seen much of the different zones besides the first one. They definitely been pushing the first one, and we'll probably get that information over the next coming weeks or maybe month. We got like a month almost till this game comes out. We're about to be in October. But yeah, I think Sonic Frontiers needs a hard mode. I need them to limit the way you have to tackle things and make things more chaotic. I'm still indifferent on the whole lives thing. Remember when everybody was tripping about that with Sonic Colors Ultimate? I don't know how I really feel about it. Like, it's cool because it's like, dang, I ain't gotta start all the way over. But I feel like there should be an option for both type of players. If I fail too many times, I do the whole level over. Or if you like the other way, bam, play with the tail save. That's all I'm looking for and hoping for in Sonic Frontiers. Because what Sonic Frontiers looks like is, if you grind the game at a certain point so far, it looks like you could possibly unlock a lot of things or a lot of broken stuff if you're just playing the game, you know, and not progressing the story. I just love Sonic, so regardless if it's repetitive or stupid or not, I'm gonna see past the things that feel repetitive because I'm just playing with Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Sonic has a cheat code in this case, since this game is Sonic the Hedgehog meets open zone, open Breath of the Wild like energy. I don't want to go too deep into that, but you know what a zoo could be saying about Sonic Frontiers. It don't be making sense sometimes, but because to be honest and be truthful with a lot of y'all, I feel like Sonic Frontiers might become the next Sonic Unleashed. Not with the people, the fans, but with the critics, reviewers. Because you know how critics be, they die one time and they go, this game trash, it's garbage, bye, I'm out of here. I am also not a huge fan of some games, and open world or open zone games do this. When you beat it, you unlock the hard mode, because your first playthrough is your first impression. It's just like it with real life. When you go get a job, they're gonna be like, yo, first impressions are everything. Make sure you look good, make sure you speak properly. That applies to video games as well for a lot of people. What really scares me about Sonic Frontiers, they hype up the content, but is the content all good content? Especially me coming from the fighting game space, there's a lot of companies that will hype up like in-game content and then it not being any type of good content. It's like, yeah, you gave us more, but it's trash. And I don't want to feel that way with the game. If the content is trash in the game, you can also supplement that by giving me a hard mode, therefore giving me more ways to play the main game instead of having to do all the other challenges and stuff like that. Because let's be honest, when it comes to certain games, even JRPGs, things of that nature, you gonna get tired of doing the side quest at one point, or every side quest is gonna be not that fun to do. There are some side quests that are tedious, there's some side quests that make you go back and forth, depending on the genre. You know what game I'm talking about. I've been truly challenged with a Sonic game since Sonic Unleashed. Eggman Land can be argued being like the worst level from a design perspective, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I feel like that overall game is the hardest Sonic game for me. I quit that game and I got that game for Christmas when I got to Adabat. I couldn't do it. That warehouse stage, I took the game off the Xbox and put it away for like 9 months. I couldn't do it. It was that hard for me at that time. And like, if you look at Sonic Frontiers from some of the stuff that we've seen, you have a skill tree. It's kind of more of an RPG-esque game. And Lord Jesus Christ, I get like scared thinking of hearing and stuff like that, because it reminds me of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I can't stand that game. Ubisoft need to go back to the drawing board. They need to take what they did with that, throw that away, and start completely over. I'm sorry for slandering Ubisoft here. I just had to get that out. Hey, even if it's not in the main game, like they could put a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild situation where they add the master mode, the hard mode as DLC in the future. But I think what Breath of the Wild master mode did, it added a whole nother layer of replayability to the game. I don't know if Sega generally has ever done this with their games. The only other game I could think of them doing this with probably be with Persona 5, and I think it was probably already in the game from the start with like the impossible mode or just like vigorous. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, Persona 5 has difficulty options in its game, and I think that's dope for that game. However, I feel like even if you play Persona 5 Royal on the hardest difficulty, especially that version of the game, you have a mechanic in there that just makes it easy anyway. And what it looks like with Frontiers, there are some things in the game that can exploit even the hardest challenges, and once you figure that out, it may not be fun no more. Yeah, you can opt not to use those things. If you stuck, you could just get out the situation with that said ability or mechanic. I think one thing I loved about Sonic Unleashed, dog, was what made it so dope was those challenge levels that were added. I think they were DLC too, as well. And they were really hard. They were really, really difficult. Some were just unfair. But other than that, I think Sonic Frontiers is going to be a fire game. It's going to be better than Forces at least. It already looked leagues better than Forces. And I don't even think Forces is the worst game. It's just painfully average. That's where I'm at with that. So yeah, if you guys want to see more Sonic Frontiers content or Sonic content in general, subscribe to the Legend of Yaya. It's your boy. I'm out, and peace.